Yeah, it's really good.
Nikki, somebody's asked, where can I find casting calls for my region? So if somebody is based up in the north and they want to find work that's being cast just in their region, where would they go to find that?
Well, I mean, I would say Spotlight. There's other casting subscriptions such as Casting Networks, Mandy.com. They will stipulate the region, so it's just a case of getting, subscribing to something like that. There's Cast Call, Castwork, Star Now. I don't know if I've missed anybody out, but there's quite a lot there to be going on. And I mean, depending on whereabouts they are, I know there's the film school in Leeds. They have productions going on where they do cast locally for their projects, and they're at a really good level because they're film students. So maybe check out a few places. Again, doing research is really important. But places like that's always a good starting point.
Yeah.
And for regional productions, so if you're casting just looking for something that's happening, being filmed nearby, and looking for a local cast, do you just use local agents, or again are you spreading your net far and wide?
No, I'd spread the net far and wide, because you don't know, a London agent might look after somebody who is based from that part of the world where we want to attract cast. So and the same with a local northern agency. They might look after actors that are from London. So you've got to circulate. We've got to do our jobs, and we've got to really cast the net, because you don't know who and what you might find. So
yeah, exactly. We've got no idea where people are based, where they've moved to. We're not tracking absolutely everyone we've ever worked with. So we want to put that call out far and wide, and find the best people for that job. And it might be that someone that has just moved into the area and they're based there and they're perfect for it.
Yes.
But you wouldn't know that if you cut off your nose to spite your face.
No, you wouldn't.
That's exactly right.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
So Ali, you kind of touched on this already, but do you consider UK actors for jobs casting in Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, let's just consider for a second accent-wise. So, I mean, a flawless Irish seems to be something that is very tricky for people to do. Northern Irish actually seems to be easier, in my experience. There's some classic Hollywood examples, world where
I can think of a few.
We're Irish here, so they're quite comical, but yes, we definitely do, and because RP is often like is required often if we're doing something period, or if we're doing depending on the genre, well then it's kind of open to anybody, for example. And also some actors can flawlessly do Irish, and there's some like that I can think of spring to mind immediately, and are extremely good. So I don't mean to imply that nobody can do it. I just mean to be really honest with yourself, and you know what I mean, step away from something that you don't feel 100% confident with. Just don't go near it.
Don't go there.
Yeah, exactly. And but yes, we do consider UK. I mean, recently we were doing just as a tiny anecdote, we were doing something with where I think there was broad international search going on for a son in a Bryan Cranston project playing his son. I think everybody was looking for him, and we were looking for him in Ireland. And one of the lads who came in, great fella, who was new, he was training, he was still training, 19, and came in as American. So I was wondering when I was listening to him, I was wondering if that's what he was doing, but it wasn't because his accent was letting him down. It was just because it would be a bit unusual that I wouldn't have come across him already and know that he was American, and know that he's quite small here. But and at the end, turns out he's Irish. But so I liked the way he came in. He did his thing. He did it flawlessly. So it's something now another casting director might shoot me down for this, but I have no problem with somebody doing a self-tape, not introducing them, going straight into the scene, doing it flawlessly, and then introducing themselves at the end and doing their ident. I'm fine with that, because if I didn't doubt it, I didn't doubt it.
Exactly.
It's all about like as we always are all asking ourselves, do I buy it? Do I believe it? Not just in accents, but in performance. And so I think I am perfectly happy with. If somebody wants to fool me, I'm happily fooled.
Yes.
You know, I'm doing a good job, you know.
Yeah, because absolutely it can be quite jarring if somebody comes in and does their ident in, you know, their natural accent, and then all of a sudden switch into a script. It can take you a while to go.
It can. We have to suspend our disbelief, and we have to do it so quickly that it can be quite tricky. So maybe it's a tip for actors who aren't very well known to the casting directors they're going to. If you are well known, well, that casting director believes in you that you can do it anyway. So therefore you're fine. But if you're brand new, it's just something to consider. If you want to show I am excellent at this. And I would also suggest maybe if you haven't got a lot of screen work on your CV, to definitely be working on some, say, 30-second monologues, showing if accents are your thing, show your accents. If you know, if you want to play against type, if you're, you know, more softly spoken, to do something more brash and more, you know, upfront and in your face, definitely show some contrast. And I personally, if somebody sends me an email and there's no downloads, but it's a clickable link and it's short and I can bleed my way through it, I'll watch it. I'll watch anything. You know, I'll give that 30 seconds every time. And because that's what our job is, isn't it? We want to see good people.
We do.
And in the one-to-ones that we've been doing at the moment, we've been telling people to make the most of the lockdown, record yourself doing a monologue, and maybe accents is something you can work on. If that's a strength of yours, do a monologue in the accent that you're strongest in, send that off to casting directors, and hey ho, you know, we'll be surprised about what we see.
Accents and self-taping.
I
mean, I heard another casting director saying on a tweet, so I'm going to paraphrase her, and she was just saying, I thought it was well put. She just said, like, self-taping, you can't just get away with saying I'm rubbish at self-taping. That just doesn't fly. It's about practice, and it's like any other skill we practice. Practice on setting it up, getting it right, and you've got enough to deal with when you're about to perform, rather than worrying about your technical side. So this just practice until you nail it.
Absolutely.
But we can all do it. It's not rocket science at the end of the day. Everyone can get there. It just might take a while, you know.
Exactly. And now's the time to be doing it. You know, we've been given
it is time well spent, and it's free, and you know, so I would be getting heavily involved in that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, thank you. Nikki, do you think there's any regions that get missed out as they don't fall into either north or south? So this is somebody from the Midlands, so they're feeling that they sometimes get overlooked.
Yeah, well, let's go with the Midlands. I think because I think the majority of castings will tend to take place in Manchester or London. So from that perspective, possibly. However, like Wales, the Midlands isn't that far away from London, and it's not that far away from Manchester. So it would make it, you know, it would make sense to cast somewhere which is more accessible for talent to get to in the north, and also in London as well, if we could do two places. So again, it's just for the actors from that part of that region to, you know, to look at that and, you know, consider that. It's just because Manchester, there's a lot of talent and it's close to all those sort of inner city areas as well. It's more of a central place. Is what I'm
And actually, if it's turned on its head, it could be looked as a positive. Like, actually, you're midway between London and Manchester, and Wales is over the road. So,
exactly.
And Dublin just a bit further.
That is true.
I mean, I live in Huddersfield. I'd love every casting to be on my doorstep, but you know, I still have to get out and go to work. You know, so
absolutely.
Great to cast the office in Huddersfield, but no, you know, we have to go to Leeds or Manchester. It's just
Brilliant. So, ladies, I think we're just about up. Is there anything in particular you want to say to finish off, or?
I'll just say my consultant my notes briefly. Let's see. These are the kind of things that people ask me all the time, and there was just one other maybe thing. Do you say, for example, does an Irish person need a UK agent for UK projects? My brief answer is yes, it's going to be a very big help. I'm I'm from the UK, but I have family in Ireland, or I'm based in the UK, but I have family in Ireland. Can I be considered for projects there? Yes, I think we covered that. You might just need to cover your own travel costs, along the way, because you'll probably be hired as a local artist depending on the size of the project.
Yeah.
And then also look for the platforms, as Nikki said, of your area, of your region. Get involved, do your research, and find out, like you said, about Leeds Film School. There are Ed and Leary Film School here is phenomenal, and there are great grads coming out of everywhere doing some really great work. So it's a good opportunity to get in with them if you're newer to the business, and if you're more established, then you kind of know your roots probably already and your avenues to go down.
Yeah, fantastic. Nikki, do you have anything you'd like to?
I just think, obviously, because of COVID-19, I think a question came up about doing self-tapes. I think that is definitely the way things are going to go. The industry is going to change. Everything's going to change now, massive changes. So, I think even though we're doing a lot of that now, I think there's just going to be more opportunity than it, and it might be a benefit really for those that are out of town, which we've already mentioned. Really,
I think so. Yeah, I think it's an optimistic time in a sense, in that sense. That's the thing that we've all been kind of championing for years. As the way that is very suitable for our industry has now been forced upon the industry, and that could be really good for a lot of people in a lot of ways.
It's the way we're heading, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, both of you. Great, valuable advice. And I think the kind of key message is to reassure actors everywhere that, we're looking everywhere. We're leaving no stone unturned in our search. So it doesn't matter where you're based.
It is true.
We'll find you.
It's true.
In a creepy way. Lovely. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone that's watching.
Thank you, Rose. Thanks.
Pleasure chatting, ladies.
Yeah, great to talk to you both. See you later.
Bye. Bye.